Understanding how to test pH in your water is crucial to understanding the performance of your Athena ionizer. Different areas of the country have very different tap waters. For instance, in some areas of the country we have hard tap water, which is water that's high in calcium, and that water will tend to measure very high in pH, as high as sometimes 8 or even a little higher. Other areas of the country have soft water, water that's very low in calcium, and these waters will tend to measure very low on the pH scale. Some well water measures as low as 5 pH. Your ionizer will have to work that much harder to alter the water when there's not much calcium in it for the machine to work with. So crucial to understanding the performance of your ionizer is understanding your tap water. So the reagent bag that came in the styrofoam lid of your ionizer has a few parts in it. It's got a spare fuse. You'll want to save this and put it in a safe place in case you ever have to replace the fuse. It's got a pH color chart which has an adhesive backing to it, and I'm just going to place this on the machine right here for the purposes of our testing. And then of course it's got the reagent drops themselves, which are the red liquid drops. The top of the styrofoam packaging also has 3 glass test tubes, and I'm going to use one of those here to test the tap water. Testing the pH is going to be the same whether we're testing tap water, acidic water, or alkaline water. And to do that, to test properly, we're going to fill the test tube up about half. It doesn't have to be precise, but approximately half. And then we'll place 3 or 4 drops of the reagent into the water, shake it up, and compare to the color chart. And you can see that's a pretty solid green color, which indicates a pH of around 7. So now let's test some various setting levels of alkaline water. To do this, we'll turn the machine on to a nice easy flow about half.
Alkaline water selected.
And we're going to test a level 2 pH. So we'll fill the test tube up about half, add our 3 or 4 drops, shake it up, and now you can see that that's a nice solid blue color, which would be an 8, maybe an 8.5. Now we'll test a higher level of alkalinity. Let's skip all the way up to 4 and show you the difference.
Alkaline water selected.
We'll rinse the test tube out, fill it up again about half, 3 or 4 drops, shake it up, and you can see that that's a nice dark purple. That's probably in excess of 10, I'd guess, somewhere around a 10.5. Most people wouldn't want to drink this level of alkalinity. Some do. Next, I'd like to show you a crucial concept and demonstrate this for you. Flow rate has a very definite impact on performance in your ionizer. A very fast flow rate and the water is not processing in the machine for very long and won't receive very much alteration. A very slow flow rate means the water is in there processing for a long time. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to turn the flow on to about a medium.
Alkaline water selected.
We're going to select alkaline level 2, and we'll start by testing the water at this baseline measurement. Filling it up about half, adding our drops, and again you can see that that's a nice solid blue color, maybe an 8.5. Now without adjusting the alkaline setting, I'm going to slow the flow down. You can notice the slower flow by the reduced amount coming out of your spout, almost a trickle. We'll fill the tube up about half again and add our 3 or 4 drops and shake it up, and now you can see that that water is purple. I haven't adjusted the alkaline setting, I've simply adjusted the flow rate. So use the flow control valve as a way to fine-tune your performance. Slower flow, more alteration, higher pH. Fast flow, lower pH. It's very simple.
In the manual it says you can add extra calcium. When would I do that, and can you say something about that?
Sure, Katira, that's a great question. Most areas of the country have plenty of naturally occurring calcium in the tap water already, so you won't ever need to add calcium. In areas where the tap water is very soft, say a pH of 6 or lower, you'll need to add calcium to help boost the performance of the machine. It's very simple. Let me show you how to do that.
Great. Thank you.
To replace the calcium, we'll begin by twisting the silver cap at the top of the port and removing. It may be sticky the first or second time, so simply use a butter knife to gently pry it up and remove the assembly. Then you simply twist the basket, remove it from the cap, get your replacement basket out, remove the cap from the replacement basket, insert the basket into the cap, put the basket and the cap back into the port, and twist it to lock it. It's important that you get a tight seal by twisting it to make sure that water won't leak out of the top. If you find that you do need to add the calcium to boost the performance of your machine, the calcium will come in vials when you originally purchase your machine. But as you repurchase calcium, they'll come in small red vials or jars that you can use to simply refill the empty basket so that you can reuse the basket over and over again.
You know, I really like that water and like to take it with me wherever I go. What is the best way to store it?
I take it with me wherever I go as well. There's a few tips. Let me explain those to you. There's definitely an order of preference when considering containers to store your water. And they're shown here in order of desirability, starting with the least desirable, which are the soft plastics, like the #1 PET recyclable bottles as indicated by the 1 in the triangle on the bottom. These are least desirable. Next, you've got the hard plastic or Lexan or polycarbonate, which is indicated by a 7 inside the triangle on the bottom. These are better than the soft plastics. Better than either plastic is glass. Glass is totally non-reactive and a better vessel than the two plastics. There's a lot of research that suggests the plastic leaches harmful agents into the water as it's stored in plastic. But best for anything to store the water is the Ionized proprietary bottle. It preserves the healthful qualities longer than glass and certainly longer than either of the plastics. So the ideal way to store the water is to fill the container all the way to the top with as little air as possible at the top. And if you can, keep the water cool. It's ideal to keep it in a refrigerator and out of the sunlight. That will help preserve the quality in the water. But the best is to drink the water straight out of the machine. That way the healthful qualities are at their peak. That's it.